Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Smart Transfer Intro to Psychology at SCC. I'm Maria Farina. I'll be your instructor for this semester, and I'm just going to show you around a little bit. So when you sign into Blackboard, you'll see a list of your courses. So click on the Intro to Psych or Section 2, and this will bring you to the home page. And if you don't see this little menu here on the side, just pull that out like that. And we'll start with the syllabus and where you can find that. That's really the most important thing for you to start off with. And pretty much everything else you need is in this menu page for the course. So a little bit about me. I have a little PowerPoint that's here. And typically this is what I would put on the overhead on the first day of class. To introduce myself to you guys. So we will just do it here. So again, this is the Smart Transfer Intro to Psychology. We're just going to talk a little bit about Blackboard and a little bit about the syllabus in this PowerPoint, a little bit about me. The announcement section is in the home page, and typically if I post an announcement, you'll also get an email about it. So check your email, check the announcements, just to keep on top of what's going on. If you have any urgent questions, there's a raise your hand section. I'll show you that in a minute. If you have something privately that you want to talk with me about, the best way is to send me an email. I also will be available once a week on Blackboard Collaborative, which is a live space that we can talk on Blackboard, and I can always set up a meeting with you there also if you need to talk. You can always call the Liberal Arts Department. The department secretary will get me a message if your internet is down, if your computer breaks, any of those things that can happen, and all you can do is use the phone. This is sort of the old-fashioned way to get a hold of me. Leave a message on the answering machine if you don't speak to a person, and they will get a message to me very quickly. And you can always reach out to your Smart Transfer coordinators or counselor. The text, you should have that. It's the Psychology in Your Life, 2nd edition. So you'll need that for the course. You'll need to read those chapters that are listed in the syllabus and on the schedule. And we'll talk a little bit about that later. So I have been teaching at SCC since 2003, so it's been a long time. I've taught online classes, on-campus classes, hybrid classes, all sorts of things. My degrees are all in psychology. It's my favorite subject still. I've worked in a lot of areas of psychology, and right now I'm teaching and mostly home with our daughter, who's 13 now. I come from a big, huge family with lots of kids, lots of nieces and nephews, lots of cousins, and so that always... I kind of use some of those examples to refer to for myself when I'm talking about things in psychology, and I think that can be helpful too if you have friends or family that you can relate certain things to. And I always love to hear interesting stories from you guys about that kind of stuff. So this is Maddie. This is my husband. Some of you may recognize Mr. Farina from Oneida Middle School. This is our daughter Maddie and our 2 fur puppies, Coco and Ruby. And so that's a little bit about me. Attendance and participation, especially in a summer class, is really important. You'll have to do the 4 discussion submissions. 3 of them are original. There's a lot of information on the syllabus and in the information pages about what those discussions should look like. You can always send me a question about that. You'll have to do those every week for the 6 weeks of class, and we have a current event project that the syllabus talks about, and we'll talk about as we go, and then there will be a final exam for the class. Okay, so this week, the course scavenger hunt. You should look around the course and answer a few questions in that quiz about the course itself and the syllabus, and that's worth 5 points, so make sure you do that. The icebreaker discussion is also worth 5 points. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I have some questions listed there that you can answer, and really feel free to talk about whatever you want there. Just let everyone get to know you. Try to respond to some of your classmates if you can. Just say hello. Just start to interact a little bit. And then we'll move on to chapter 1 and mod 1 or unit 1, which is reading about the history of psychology and research, and then discussing it in the discussion section. Just a few things when we talk about particularly research in psychology. It's always important that you're getting your information from a good source. And when you do that, you're consuming that information. And just like you want to be a good consumer of products and not waste your money, you want to be a good consumer of information and not waste your time. So just remember, when you're collecting information, review it, evaluate it, be open-minded, make sure your sources are good, that your sources are reliable sources. In the next video, I'll show you around the class a little bit and show you where the link for the Begley Library is. And they have some excellent resources that are available to you. Always be intellectually curious, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Look for inconsistency, any problems, does it not sound right? Again, when you're looking for information. Always look for multiple explanations, other reasons why, the outcome could be what it is, and to try to think like a scientist. Be skeptical, and just, again, some things to keep in mind. Okay, so while we're still here, I'll just quickly show you this link to the Begley Library, and that will bring you to the Begley Library, which is currently down, but they should get that working shortly. Right here, this 24/7, this actually works. I tested this for you guys. You can use this chat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's staffed by a librarian, and they will be able to answer your questions. So this is a great place to look for articles and get some information. This Ask a Question is always open. If you have a general question, if you're unsure about a date or something like that, something is due, this is kind of like raising your hand in the class. So this is not for personal questions. If you have a personal question, send me an email in that Farina MM email address that's on the syllabus. All right, we'll talk a little bit more about this Blackboard Collaborative and how to do the discussions and things like that in some later videos. So for now, just take a look around, get started on some of those early activities, and I look forward to meeting you all.